So, welcome to the first annual Texas QM Consortium, Texas QMC Connections Conference. Woohoo! We've been planning this for a long time, and I'm really excited to have you join us. I wanted to start this conference by acknowledging and honoring the original stewards of this land that we are on. We honor the federally recognized tribes, including the Alabama Coshada tribe of Texas, the Kickapoo traditional tribe of Texas, the Isleta del Sur Pueblo. We acknowledge the state and recognized tribes, including the Lipan Apache tribe and the Texas Band of Yaqui Indians. We honor the Coahuitecan, Mescalero Apaches, Tonkawa, Karankawa, Eastern Pueblo, Caddo, Carrizo, Comecrudo, and Comanche or Numunu in their language. But I also really want to also recognize the American Indians in Texas today. I am Karuk, which is a tribe in Northern California. And there's a lot of people from tribes throughout the country or throughout the world who are here. American Indians from diverse tribal nations continue to live and work in Texas today. If you want to find out more, there's this great website, powwows.com, that lists a lot of events. And the last Friday in September is Texas's official American Indian Heritage Day. This is a picture of some dancers I know from Great Promise for American Indians at that September event at the Texas History Museum. It's just we have a lot of great communities, Native communities, and a lot of them are served by the colleges that are members of Texas QMC. Now, before we start, I just want to remind everyone that we will be recording we are recording this presentation and all of the presentations throughout the day, part of this conference, and they will be available on the DIGITEX YouTube channel after the conference. We will send out an email notification to everyone who registered and with a link. And also, I want to let you know that for the plenary sessions, this session, the keynote, we will have closed captioning by the amazing Caption Sync. We have a captioner today, Rebecca, who is great, and we've worked with her before. Before we go any further, I wanted to give Dr. Judith Sebesta an opportunity to speak. So take it away, Judith.
Thank you so much, Ursula. Next slide. I want to just give a quick introduction to our organization under which Texas Quality Matters Consortium lies. We are the Digital Higher Education Consortium of Texas, and our tagline is ensuring equity through collaboration. We were founded over 20 years ago as the Virtual College of Texas and rebranded in 2019 as DIGITEX. And we serve all 50 public Texas community college districts across the state. And we primarily engage in 4 initiatives. We support interinstitutional course sharing across the community colleges via our partnership with Acadium. We also support open educational resources and in general, open education practice and policy, both in Texas and beyond. We engage in research on digital higher education broadly conceived. And of course, we lead the Texas Quality Matters Consortium. And just a few words about that before I turn it back over to Ursula. Since the creation of the Texas Quality Matters Consortium about 5 years ago, I began leading the former VCT, now DIGITEX, in 2019. Now, later that year, I had the good fortune to hire Ursula to serve as the system lead of Texas QMC, among other duties that she does for DIGITEX. And under her visionary leadership, I have been thrilled to see the Texas QMC grow and thrive. And Ursula has been assisted in the management of the consortium by DIGITEX's amazing program coordinator, Heather Walker. It's really because of them and all of our presenters today that this first inaugural Texas Quality Matters Consortium Connections Conference has come to fruition. I am so grateful to all of you participating today, and I'd like to thank you for your work to support quality instruction and learning at your institutions. Thanks for joining us today, and I can't wait to see the great work highlighted and showcased here. Back to you, Ursula.
Thank you so much. That was beautifully said. I really appreciate all your support for the consortium. And I am your moderator today. My name is Ursula Pike, and I'm the Associate Director of the Digital Higher Education Consortium of Texas. I'm also the System Lead for the Texas Quality Matters Consortium. I'm a creative writing instructor for Austin Community College, and I have been able to complete the APP QMR and the Designing Your Online Course trainings. And it's been really exciting to me to both work with the instructional designers and faculty who are implementing QM through Texas QMC, and then as an instructor myself to take what I've learned from those trainings and implement them into my online course. I feel like I get to see QM from all sides, and it's been really exciting, and I have learned so much from all of you. We have an exciting schedule today. I am really excited about it. After this short introduction, where I kind of give an overview of the conference and how some of the things within the Whova app work, I'm going to talk about what we're doing in Texas QMC, the state of the consortium. Then, after a 15-minute break, we've tried to schedule a number of breaks in between the sessions. We have Dr. Rachel Brooks from North Carolina Central University. And she's going to talk about quality through community. I've seen Dr. Brooks speak many times at QM conferences and on webinars. I'm really excited to have her talk to the entire conference. So it should be exciting. Then we will have several sessions. Each session will be 25 minutes, and they will be scheduled back to back starting at 11. And they are going to be presentations by the Texas QMC members themselves. They're going to be talking about the work that they're doing. You'll be talking about the work that you're doing. And it's exciting, and I'm really looking forward to getting more details about it. Then we'll have a speed networking session that's from 12:15 to 12:45, where we're encouraging people to get together in groups, and you'll be able to talk to people for 5 minutes and just get to know them, get to know other folks around the consortium, which to me was one of the biggest goals for this conference. I could see everybody working so hard independently throughout the state, and I just thought this would be great to have people come together and have a chance to connect to each other. Then from 1 until 2:55, we will have 4 more sessions, again, 25 minutes each, where we'll hear about all kinds of different work that people are doing. Then at 3, we'll have our final plenary session. I was so lucky to get to connect with Dr. Bethany Simonich, QM's Director of Research and Innovation. And we're going to sit down and have a conversation about data and the importance of measurements and other things QM. So I'm excited about that. And then at 3:30 to 3:45, we'll just have a wrap up and we can share some of our thoughts about what happened. So it looks like it should be a good schedule for the day, not too heavy. But first, what I would like to do now is to encourage you to tell us where you are. And this is one of the things that we will be reflecting in the later today. I have created a Padlet, and anybody should be able to access it. I've done this in other conferences, and I find it exciting to see where people are. So throughout the day, I'll be encouraging people to access this Padlet and click on the pink plus sign and tell us where you are. And this is anonymous. I mean, unless you're already signed into Padlet under your account. It just says where you are, and you can put any location. I'm actually at my home today in Austin, but the address that I put was the location where our offices are in Round Rock on the Austin Community College campus. So again, you can scan this QR code to access it, or you can click on the link that is in the chat. So how does this work? How do you access things associated with this conference? We're using the Whova platform, and it is a place where you can do everything. You can download the app, or you can use it from your desktop. And from there, you can see agendas and send messages. As if you're accessing this, you know that you were given this option, whether to sign in to Zoom or to Whova, and you can select either. I know that if you want to join in Zoom, then a separate window will open and you'll be able to watch from Zoom. But don't close the Whova app, leave it open, because that's how you'll be able to see the chat and interact with other participants. And my recommendation to you is that you try it for different sessions. You could try Zoom for this one, you could try Whova for the next one. I think that you see which one works best for you. And I just want to also say, if at any point things go down with Whova, we have separate Zoom links for every single session. In the Whova app, in the conference app, there is a section called Documents. And in the Documents folder is a PDF with all the Zoom links. We don't think you'll need that, but that is just a backup in case something happens accessing the conference from the Whova app. We have opportunities to engage with each other. As I said, on the left-hand schedule, if you can see on this slide, there's opportunities for community, connecting with community. There's photos. Photos are one way that I think it's fun to see who's sharing this space with you, who's kept you company, what four-legged or other animal has kept you company over the last few years, especially if you're in a home office. But please post your pet pics. That's not my llama. I love llamas, but that's not my llama. But please share something about your life. It's exciting to see how people are outside of the office. We'll also have opportunities for networking. As I said, the speed networking. If you stay for 10 minutes or longer in the speed networking, you'll be entered into a raffle, and someone from that raffle will win a $35 Amazon gift card. I am sorry about that. I was trying to see if there was some background noise going on. And as I said, there's community, there's an icebreaker question, and you can meet other conference attendees. One of the resources that we have is if you have questions while the conference is going on, under the community tab, there is a place where you can ask the organizers anything. So both Heather Walker and I will be watching that space to see if there are questions going on during the conference. So please go ahead and submit your questions there, and we will answer them as soon as we can. And I think it's a great way for us to communicate, because I know you might have our email addresses. This is probably a little bit faster way to get in touch with us today if there's specific issues. So that is the end of this informal beginning for the conference. I just wanted to kind of make sure that people had information about how things work. Before I move into the state of the consortium, I just wanted to ask, are there any questions that folks have at this time about the conference or any of the conference website? And you can post it in chat. If you can also unmute yourself if you need to. Oh, my camera just went out of focus. What happened there? I am not seeing any questions right now. So please let us know if, as the conference goes on, you have questions, and we'll get to them. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and go to the state of the consortium. Originally, this was going to be two sessions. It's two separate sessions, but it just was easier to combine them into one. Less clicking and stopping of webinars and starting of others. So the first annual conference, the state of the consortium. We have so many colleges that make up the Texas QMC, and the number has gone up and gone down during the time that I have been working with the consortium, but to me, it's exciting to see. People from all over the state have been working together with each other on their campus, and especially during the pandemic. I have seen just an amazing amount of work. You've been training facilitators, or training facilitators have been delivering training all the time. Sometimes on their phone, sometimes virtual trainings that lasted one full day, 8 hours of an APP QMR training. And we met an incredible need that happened in May 2020 because of the pandemic. And we were all trying to get everybody trained, as many people trained as possible. And I just saw incredibly heroic efforts. And I want to congratulate all of you on everything that you did. It was amazing. And I know that our students and learners are better for it. So through Texas QMC, there are 4 different trainings that the members have access to as part of this membership. And remember, as I mentioned, that many of these training options have multiple options themselves, face-to-face, virtual, online. You can take them through the consortium. You can take them directly from QM. So within these 4 options, there are many additional layers. But as I said, you have been working really hard on these over this last year, over the last 2 years especially, but over the last year. The peer-reviewed, over 109 peer-reviewed courses were completed. 92 intro to QM trainings were completed. Improving your online course, there were 272 of those completed. Designing your online course, there were 17 of those completed. And that's something that we just added to the consortium during the pandemic. So that's relatively new, but it's been exciting to see people take it more and more each year. People get certified to facilitate it each year more and more. I've taken it myself. I found it really helpful as an instructor, and I would definitely encourage you, if you're thinking about it, to check it out. And then, of course, the big class, applying the QM rubric. In the last year, 625 people have completed that course. That is 1,115 completed trainings. And I know that many of these are, some people take all of these, have taken many of these. And that's an even bigger accomplishment, I think, just the amount of hours, because APP-QMR, for example, the online version is 2 weeks long. So these are thousands of hours that have gone into improving course design and better serving the students. And I just find it, your dedication, amazing. I keep using that word amazing, but that's exactly how I feel about it. So I would like invite people, if you were in any of these trainings, I would love to see a post in the chat. Did anybody complete any trainings in the last year or facilitate a training? Let me know what it was. I'm going to go ahead and write DYOC because that's one that I completed. DYOC and addressing accessibility. You know, Pam, that is a great point. There are so many other training opportunities that people have taken advantage of. And there are webinars, the QM success stories, and just many different resources that people can take that I have taken and have found really informative. All right, well, oh yes, Linda Reed facilitated improving your online course, designing your online course, and APP-QMR. Ooh, yeah, lots of different courses. That's great. And the number one thing that I actually tell new members when they join the Texas QMC is, if you can get your instructional designers certified to facilitate the sessions, that is the best bang for your buck, because you'll be able to train people throughout your institution. So that's great. Thank you for sharing that. So course reviews. Oh, here's another one that this year especially has been incredible. In 2019 to 2020, there were 23 course reviews for consortium colleges. In 2020 to 2021, there were 38 course reviews. In 21 to 22, there were 48, and that it doesn't even count the 18 that are in progress right now. And this is just as of May 24th when I pulled this data. the amount of work that has gone into course reviews this year has been amazing. And I know that those are challenging in a different way. And I really am impressed by those numbers, that they continue to grow. And I see you posting on Twitter about different courses that have been certified, and I think it's exciting. Has anybody in the audience here been a part of a course review, and what course was it? Please post in the chat if you don't mind, or you could unmute yourself and let me know. Well, feel free to post in the chat if you want to share later, but I do think that these are difficult in a different way than the trainings, but I know they're incredibly valuable. Yeah, it's one of my goals for next year. Yes. In the Texas QMC, we have members filling multiple roles. So one person might hold many of these roles. They may be a facilitator in all the different ways that you can deliver APPQMR or DYOC. As Linda said, she has facilitated DYOC, IYOC, and APPQMR. So a person may be all of these things, and so that means that these numbers can be duplicative, but I do think it's exciting to see the number of people involved, the roles that are filled. And as I said, the more certified facilitators that an institution have, the more faculty that they can train. And the more peer reviewers, certified peer reviewers your institution has, the more courses that can be reviewed. It's a great investment in your people. I mean, you know this, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. It's a great investment in your people and supports your learners and your institution. Later this year, we'll be publishing an annual report with more details about this. And in that final session, the plenary session with Dr. Simunich, we're going to talk about the value of data. One thing that QM has done a great job in the last year is giving better access to our individual institutional data. And I recommend that you check that out, those resources, that dashboard that every QM coordinator at your institution has, and see what's going on and compare it to previous years. That's the great thing about this data that they've presented, that they've presented, is that it makes it really easy to compare time periods. We also had Texas QMC members who were highlighted on the national stage. So Dr. Richard Espinosa from Austin Community College District received the 2021 Outstanding Impact by a Higher Ed Individual Award. And I think that at the QM Connect conference, which is in October, I think, in Arizona, that he'll actually be honored there along with the other winners for the last year. Also in this document, which is the QM Community in Review, they do it every year, Alamo Colleges District was recognized for their work in providing professional development to hundreds of faculty. Later today, Rudy Lopez and Bobby Myatt from Laredo, from Alamo Colleges, will be presenting, and they're going to talk about some of that work that they've done. They set a really ambitious goal for training faculty, and they met it. And so I think it's great that they receive some recognition on a national level for their work. Also, we were able to highlight at DIGITEX some of the important work that our Texas QMC members are doing. So we have a webinar series called Hot Topics in Texas Digital Higher Ed. And we were able in January to feature 3 of the institutions that are members of the Texas QMC, all 3 of whom are presenting at the conference later today: Alamo Colleges District, Austin Community College District, and Laredo College. We had a wonderful webinar called One Size Does Not Fit All: Approaches to Quality Assurance in Online Education, where they talked about their different approaches to training and course review. And that actually is still available on the DIGITEX YouTube channel. I don't know if yes, thank you, Judith, for posting the link to the DIGITEX YouTube channel. So that is still available there. And if you wanted to watch that, you could. But again, they will all be presenting at their own individual sessions later today. And then QM has this wonderful free webinar series called QM Success Stories. Once a month, they offer an example, like best practices. And in May of 2021, the Laredo College had a presentation called QM Tetris, Arranging the Blocks of Great Course Design. And they were able to present on the incredible work that they're doing in Laredo. So I encourage you, I think that's available under the resources on the QM webpage. So if you want to check that out, please feel free to do that. And I want to just say that, you know, we would love to have more webinars with Texas QMC members. We also have a blog. DIGITEX has a blog, and we have featured in the past different Texas QMC members. So if you feel motivated after this conference to maybe share some of your best practices, please reach out to me and let me know, because I would love to touch base with you and maybe discuss a potential blog post. I think that there's so much knowledge that each of you has and so much experience that it really would benefit the other members of the consortium. This year, we did something different. We created a Texas QMC advisory committee. It was something that I really wanted to do. I have an experience working in community groups, and it's so important to get feedback from the stakeholders, to get guidance from the stakeholders on what to do. And it was important to me also to be respectful of people's time. I am on a number of boards, and I understand it's a commitment, you know, and I definitely want to respect people's time, but I really need their guidance. It's very helpful to me to not be working in a vacuum. So this group helped me plan the event that we're having right now. Rudy Lopez and Julie McDevitt from Alamo College District, Dr. Jennifer Miles from Huston-Tillotson University, Sally Hughes, who was at Blinn College, Laura Lane Worley from Lee College. So I really just have to say thank you to these folks, because it was really wonderful to be able to chat with you about the direction of the Texas QMC. Now, some of these people have moved on. They're no longer with that specific institution, but also we are looking to expand this committee for the year going forward. I'll say a little bit about that later. But also later this summer, I'll be sending out some information asking if these current members want to remain, but I'll also be sending out an invitation to folks to see if they would like to join. And I think I hope to engage with this committee more as the year goes forward. I have to be realistic. There have been some challenges, not just COVID, but just challenges going forward in this environment. And I think it's good to reflect on those challenges and figure out how moving forward you can maybe adjust our approach to address it. One big challenge that we had is our fiscal manager. They moved to a new payment system. I know a lot of institutions have done this, switched your payment system, tried to upgrade it so it's better and it works better. But the process for paying the reviewers and the training facilitators got a little confused. We were trying to figure it out and they were trying to figure it out. And because as part of Texas QMC, we have this unique system where we pay the reviewers individually, and then we invoice your institution for all 3 of those individuals. So you're not having to make 3 payments, you make 1 payment to Texas QMC. And then we take those funds and send all of it directly to those reviewers or those training facilitators. And of course, like all institutions that we're in, we have to follow certain policies and procedures. So if you have any questions about this, and I know many of you have been copied when the reviewers have said, hey, where's my payment? We try and be immediately responsive and get to the bottom of any issues. So please, if any reviewer or training facilitator contacts you and has a question, please contact myself and or Heather Walker, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Another issue that honestly has impacted Texas QMC and all the institutions that I work with in higher ed is this great resignation. People are switching careers, leaving institutions that they've worked at. I've noticed, especially in the last 6 months, that there's been a lot of shifting. Now that we're kind of through hopefully, the really worst of COVID, knock on wood, but people are seeking opportunities or retiring, and it does impact us because when the quality matters coordinator at an institution leaves, then we don't always know who to communicate with. So, and I've seen turnover in that position specifically. So if you have any change at your institution, if a coordinator leaves or you get a new one, please let me know. I am happy to meet with them, the new person, and brief them on how everything works and answer any questions. I just think that that information can be really helpful for them. But I've also noticed that sometimes people are going from one institution that's a QMC member to another institution that's a QMC member. And we're able to connect, and they bring a lot of resources to that new institution because they already know about Quality Matters, they already know about the consortium and how it works, and it can be a good thing. So just please communicate with me. That would be great. So what's happening in 2022 and 2023? So the new membership year begins on September 1st, 2022. As I mentioned, we had an advisory committee. We're going to have a new committee term, which will start in September. So I'll be reaching out to folks this summer, seeing if the current members are still interested in staying on, and then seeing if some other folks are interested in joining. We also would like to develop some new policies or develop some policies. I think Texas QMC has, some of it has functioned as an informal agreement, and it's worked okay. I think though that, especially with new members coming on, it's been helpful to have everything more secure, more codified, just clearer. I think it helps everyone the more information that they have. I've been working on a member manual that I'd like to share with everyone that just kind of outlines everything and answers questions. We'd like to plan for another conference for next year. Depending on how this one goes, maybe we'll have some ideas about how to switch it up for next year. And there's going to be a small membership increase. It's like less than 10%. And really, it's just to reflect the fact that some of the costs that we added a license, the Designing Your Online Course license, during the pandemic, and that has a cost associated with it. So I just hope that you think that's worth it. It's still much more or much less expensive than if an institution joins QM directly itself. And I really think that it provides a lot of resources in addition to everything you get just being a QM member. But I want to hear from you throughout this conference. So today, if you have some time between sessions or at the end of the day, we have one of the community posts that we have, one of the opportunities that you can provide input, and anyone in the app can do this, is one that's called, "What do you want to see from Texas QMC in the future?" Please share your thoughts and ideas about what do you think, what would you like, what resources would you like from the consortium going forward? And that does it for this, the Texas QMC State of the Consortium. I think we're doing amazing things during a really, really difficult time. And I want to just champion everything that you're doing, all the hard work. You know, I see email, I get an email every time anybody does anything in the Texas QMC, and it is fantastic. The amount of work that's happening all across the state. So before we end this, I just want to say, are there any questions that people have about the consortium? And you can either put it in the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself, please do. But anybody have anything to say? Well, thank you, everyone. Again, there's a number of channels on the conference app that you can communicate with us. And of course, I'm taking Monday off, but then after that, please email me. I am happy to communicate with you. And yes, thank you for joining us today at this opening session. So at 10 o'clock, we will have our keynote from the amazing Dr. Rachel Brooks, and we'll go from there. So I hope you can partake in as many sessions as your schedule allows. And again, everything will be recorded and you will be able to watch it later. So thank you very much. Welcome to the conference, and have a great day.